It's game night, coming to you live right here on Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the High Flyer. He is here. He was just on with Kevin and Drapes. Got up for a moment. I know he will be back. Getting ready for this one tonight. Game 2 of the 4-game homestand. Kings and Magic. Both teams coming in with a little chip on their shoulder. We know certainly Sacramento is. Losing to the Hornets last night, 111-104. It was not a good finish for the Kings. Let's be honest, it was not a good 48 minutes for the Kings. They came out without energy. They gave a Hornets team, which had lost 11 straight games, some hope early in that contest. And Charlotte, to their credit, took full advantage. Terry Rozier was the best player on the floor at the end of the game. He finished with 36 points as Charlotte ends that 11-game losing skid. And for the Kings, they're now 19-13 on the year. As for the Magic, well, they lost last night at Golden State. And so they've been struggling a little bit as well. But they also have a very respectable record. This is a team that's on the rise in the Eastern Conference. The Magic 19-14, although they've only won 3 of their last 10 games. Henry and I will be with you until 6:30 tonight, getting you ready for Kings Live pregame. Tip tonight, 7 o'clock, G-Man with the call. And for Sacramento, the word of the night, and we'll get into this in just a little bit, it's consistency. I think we're all trying to figure that out right now. Where is the consistency with the Sacramento Kings team? They finished 2023 with maybe their best effort of the season, certainly on the defensive end, against a Memphis team with John Morant back. They only gave up 93 points in blowing out Memphis. And then they come back out with a stinker to start 2024 against a Charlotte team that was terribly undermanned. No LaMelo Ball, no Gordon Hayward. Go down the line. Charlotte, a team that certainly struggling and injured, but they came into Golden One Center and got the best of Sacramento, and that was eerily reminiscent of some of the games we saw on the home floor here last year by the Sacramento team, as the Kings seemingly lost several Eastern Conference games midway through the year. As we remember, the Kings finished with 48 wins, but they had a better road record than a home record, and that was one of the things that they were going to be focusing in on this year, trying to improve upon, and we've seen that for the most part this season. I mean, the Kings certainly respectable coming in to last night's game on the home floor. Sacramento with an overall record at Golden One Center of 11-5 before last night. But again, if you can lose to Charlotte, you can certainly lose to Orlando or anybody in this league. So the Kings will have to right their ship. Obviously, part of the storyline was Malik Monk and Mike Brown. You could tell them having words in the second half of the game last night, and they were unhappy with each other. Malik only played 5 minutes of the first half, and when you don't beat a team like Charlotte, all those things are going to come up. Mike Brown addressed them in the press conference last night, and certainly again today in the press conference that just finished. All right, High Flyer, you said something to me down in the media room. You said there's one word for the game tonight. It's all about consistency. I will tell you that Mike Brown started the pregame press conference with one word today. We are searching for consistency. So again, you have written his script.
I mean, Scott is like this.
You got on your laptop, you printed something out for him, and he went up to the microphones.
I mean, it's not rocket science when you look at this basketball club and you say, okay, what do they need? They need consistency. You know, you've seen flashes out of these guys and what they can do and how they can be when everything is right. But you have to be able to get some sense of consistency out of these guys so you can say, okay, I know exactly what I have. I know what they're going to give me. Now let me look at my bench and see how can I piece together that to where we can start winning on a consistent basis.
Yeah, if we wanted to joke around, we could throw out the old line, what a difference a year makes, because we saw how 2023 ended with that great win against Memphis, and we saw how 2024 unfortunately started for this team. And to your point, the Memphis win, Mike Brown said it was as good a defensive performance as he had seen in his entire time in Sacramento.
Right.
And then they came out last night, lackluster, seemingly not really into it. They gave a Charlotte team a lot of hope, and once you do that, any team can beat you.
Any team. any team. You can come out and play against Folsom Middle School. If you let those guys start scoring baskets, you're going to be in a dogfight because they get confidence. Any ball player that sees the ball go through the net gets confidence. I mean, I've been in that situation. You see that ball go through the net, and I said this yesterday. When Charlotte came out after that first quarter and they had matched the Kings bucket for bucket, I'm like, this is a problem right here. This is a problem because if the Kings don't make a Herculean run, these guys feel like they can stay with them. And I'm sorry, but you are playing against other professional guys. Like I said, you're not playing against the middle school to where you can just straight bully them.
Nope.
You play against other guys who play professional basketball just like you.
No question. And Terry Rozier is a very capable NBA guard. He's been on an all-star team before, and he was the best player on the floor at the end of the game last night.
You know, he took over the game and did what he needed to do. I definitely will give him that. Take my hat off to him, salute him, all of that good stuff. But, you know, his complimentary players showed up too. You know, P.J. Washington showed up.
Miles Bridges
all right?
had a good game.
Miles Bridges showed up. You know, some of the other guys came off the bench and knocked down shots. I mean, some of the third-string guys played extremely well. And I said this too, Scott. I'm like, you are playing against guys who are really showcasing for their NBA careers. Mm-hmm. They're going to come out and they're going to play hard. If anything else, they're going to play hard because that's all they got until you can show what type of skill you have.
Only the 8th win of the year for Charlotte.
8th win.
In 24 now. They end an 11-game losing streak, which was the longest in the league, with Detroit getting that victory over Toronto a couple of days ago. So all in all, it's just a bad loss. Here was Mike Brown afterwards last night. His quote was, "Our execution down the stretch and our sense of urgency on both sides of the ball was alarming. It wasn't good." And I say that because we probably had 2 or 3 unforced turnovers down the stretch. We didn't give ourselves a chance to shoot the ball, which led to them getting easy buckets in transition. What about those turnovers? 21 of them. And Sabonis, we've talked about how great he's been, and we talk about his triple-doubles. Unfortunately, he had one of those triple-doubles you don't want.
Right.
You know, he had obviously double points in scoring and rebounding, but he also had 11 turnovers last night.
I will say this. That's very uncharacteristic of Sabonis. He usually don't have high turnover numbers. So, okay, I'll give him a pass from that. But it's hard to say you give him a pass when everything else went wrong for the Kings on the floor the exact same night.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes it really, really stand out. You're like, ugh, you know, it's hard to swallow. But all in all, the team just turned the basketball over at a very high rate and at very unopportune times. You know, even though the Kings have played bad, the whole game, if they would have took care of the ball that last 2.5 minutes, they would have won the game.
Yeah, what happened with that execution late? We'll get into the defense, but they made 2 of their last 9 attempts when they had a chance to close out the game. They were up 6 late.
Bad shot selection, dismissing shots. You know, I want to say De'Aaron missed 2.
Yeah, he had 2 layups out of the 9 attempts, 4 missed shots, and 3 turnovers where they didn't even get a shot.
Monk missed a couple of shots. Sabonis missed a couple. You know, it was very bad turnovers. I mean, it was a turnover, 3-point shot, turnover, another layup, a bad shot, a backdoor cut. I mean, it was just everything that could go wrong for the Kings went wrong. No
doubt. It was definitely a tough one to watch. Mike Brown finishing up on the defense. Quote, "Then our half-court defense, we were literally just standing on the weak side of the floor. We give up some stone-cold layup at a crucial part of the game. So to not have an awareness, a sense of urgency, it was not a good feeling being out there and being a part of it. And obviously I had a lot to do with it because I did not have our guys ready, apparently."
I'm going to point out something else that shows you how this game went. Mike Brown calls timeout. Mm-hmm. They come out of a huddle. They had 3.4 seconds to get a shot off.
And they gave up a shot clock violation. Weren't even aware of it.
Shot clock violation from a timeout.
Yep.
That should have been the first thing that was said and the last thing that was said before you left the huddle.
That's sleepwalking right there. That was basically summed up the night. There's no
Right.
doubt about that. All right, our coverage of Mike Brown and the pre- and post-game conferences brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Obviously, a lot being made between Mike Brown and Malik Monk. They were seen having words in the third quarter of the game. That after Malik Monk only played 5 first-half minutes. It's easy to make things in a game where you don't play well and you lose to a team you should beat. Do we make any more of it than just that?
We'll see tonight. We're going to see if everything is all forgiven and if the Kings bounce back tonight. Because was very strange. Very, very strange when basically your third lead scorer only plays 5 minutes in the first half.
Yeah.
Like I said, very uncharacteristic. Another part of the game. Very, very uncharacteristic for Malik Monk to only play 5 minutes.
No question. And last year, your theme was not losing 3 in a row, right?
Yep.
That was consistency by the Kings.
Uh-huh.
This year's been seemingly a lot more of a roller coaster ride, hasn't it?
It's been a roller coaster ride, but they still haven't lost 3 in a row.
True. The trend is still good overall,
Yeah.
19 and 13.
Yes, they still haven't lost 3 in a row. And you know what? And I'll roll with that. I don't like it,
Yeah.
but I'll still roll with that because it's still a recipe for a victory. When you don't lose 3 in a row, okay, you got 3 games. If you win 2, you're good. It's gonna keep you in the positive. So the Kings have been able to do that. But if you're trying to stretch out and do something extra, Scott, that's when you have to take care of business.
Yeah.
And then that's when you roll into you need to win the games you should win. And I hate saying that because I know any basketball team can win on any night. We just seen it. Detroit got to win. All right. These guys come in here.
Yep.
They get a win. And both teams, it wasn't like you were playing, another bad team. Sacramento's a playoff team. All right. Detroit, who did Detroit beat?
Detroit beat Toronto.
Toronto's falling apart, but still, an overall decent team.
Sure.
So, you have to take care of business if you're trying to make that, that extra push.
Well, there's no question. We said it last night. It was the ultimate trap game last night for the Kings coming back home after the road trip, after the New Year's and all of that, and a team that's lost 11 in a row, all the injuries, and it unfortunately turned out to be exactly that.
Yep. I mean, exactly that. And Scott, you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have, bad stretches. It's all about can this team, if this team bounce back and come out here and play the basketball the way we know what it can, okay, you say, you know what? The Charlotte game was bad, but they bounced back against Orlando. They're 1-1 on this trip. We're good.
Yep. All is forgiven. But it is a second night of a back-to-back, and I know how you feel about back-to-backs, but I have to point out the Kings are 0-4 on the second night of back-to-backs.
You would bring that up.
Those are just the facts.
No, and I understand. Those are the facts, and that's probably the one consistent thing that this team has.
They lose on second night of back-to-back.
They lose on second night of back-to-back.
Fortunately, Orlando's on a second night of a back-to-back as well. Both teams coming in with losses. Both teams coming in, turning it over quite a bit. Orlando had 18 turnovers in the game at Golden State. All right. Game night is underway from the Golden One Center. As always, game night brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbfstockton.com. We'll put last night behind us. When we come back, we'll focus in on this Orlando team. This is a good team coming in, up-and-comers in the Eastern Conference. Paulo Banchero, a rising star in this league, 5 games above 500. We'll focus in on that matchup and, of course, get you caught up on all the other league notes and scores. Game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app. Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted, ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Kings and Magic tonight. Sacramento wanting to right the ship after the disappointing loss at home to the Charlotte Hornets, 111 to 104. As for Orlando, they lost a tough one at Golden State last night, 121 to 115. This was a game they were tied at the half. Certainly had a chance to win the game, but then a guy by the name of Steph Curry decided he wanted to take over and be Steph again, as Curry had 36 points in that game. He got it going from outside. He was great in the mid-range game. 36 points, 6 assists, had 4 steals in the game as well. And the Warriors get their 10th win at home. They're 16-17 overall. The Magic, 19-14. They're 7-10 away from home. They're on a 4-game road swing. They've lost their first 2. They lost their first stop in Phoenix and then last night at Golden State. But Henry, we've talked a lot about this team. It's caught our attention because they've had some really great wins against the best in the Eastern Conference. They've beaten Boston a couple of times. They've beaten Milwaukee. This is a good young team, and obviously they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder tonight too.
You know, Scooter, let's start off with the head of the snake, Paolo Banchero. This dude is a man. He's a young player, but he's a man. He has been getting the job done ever since he stepped on the floor. This dude can play big-time ball. He's the head of the snake here. And these guys really believe in him. Yep. The organization believes in him. And I would believe in him, too, if I was a big-time Orlando fan, because he gets the job done. He's playing good ball.
He is a really outstanding player, the Rookie of the Year last year, just his second year. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block last night in the loss. And then the Wagner brothers, Mo and Franz. I tell you what, Franz is having himself a great year. He had 25 last night, 6 rebounds. It's a pretty good 1-2 punch.
You know, starting to find their way. This is a young basketball team that kind of like OKC, Scott. They kind of mirror each other. Mm-hmm. You know, a bunch of young talent that they throw out there and said, okay, you guys play. You know, you have fun. You learn to play with each other. And we're going to figure out who we're going to keep and where we're going to put different players. And, you know, the cream is rising to the top, and you're starting to see what they can do out there.
Yeah, no doubt. It's impressive. And this is another team. Mike Brown made the point in the pregame presser, and it's something you and I have talked about too. It feels like the league is kind of getting into a new era where it's about length and athleticism. You know, there was kind of an era where it was all about three-point shooting, and certainly this league is, no question. But if you look at the teams that are right now at the top of the NBA, they have a couple things in common. They have a lot of length. They have a lot of athleticism. Orlando is a very tall team. They're a great rebounding team. They're the worst three-point shooting team in the league, but they get it done physically. They can defend multiple positions, and it kind of feels like this young team is kind of what the new age NBA is starting to look like.
Scott, you know what I like about this basketball team? And you just said it. They're not the best three-point shooting team.
Terrible.
But they understand that if you get really efficient at shooting two, you're still able to win the basketball game.
Yeah.
See, this is where a lot of teams in the NBA, they get it twisted. We got to be a great three-point shooting team. We got to be a great three-point shooting team. Well, what happens when those three-point shots don't fall? You know, now you got to rely on twos. And Orlando's like, okay, we don't shoot threes that well. We don't shoot that many of them.
Nope.
So what? We play to our strengths. We rely on the two-point ball. And if we get efficient enough in making them, we can win games.
No doubt.
That's how they win it.
Yep, and the Magic constructed. They've looked at the Nuggets. They've looked at the Celtics. They've looked at the Bucks. the blueprint there for teams that are, big on the front line, 6'9" plus across all the way. And, this is a team, I don't know if they can contend this year in the East with a Philadelphia or a Boston or a Milwaukee. But
Not yet.
No, but they're a team that certainly can make some noise in the playoffs.
They're trending up.
Yes.
And, I will say this. Give this group another year together.
Yes.
And they might be one of those teams where you talk about, okay, even if you still got Milwaukee and Philly and then Miami, this might be, you might be saying Orlando is that fourth team.
Well, the other thing is they have cap space too. Will they be buyers in the deadline here?
Right.
Will they get a veteran to mix in with this young roster?
And that's usually how a lot of these small market teams are doing it. That you go out and you get a bunch of young talent, you cultivate that talent, and then what you do is you go out and then you handpick you maybe one or two veterans that's going to come and see this team and say, you know what, I'll go to Orlando and help. I see what y'all doing.
Yep. It will be interesting to see. And obviously tonight, with them being on a back-to-back, but not very far coming over from just Golden State, they should be ready to go. Youth, not a problem for them. All right, for the Kings, again, we talk about this a ton, Henry, but we have to because it's a story a lot of times. But Harrison Barnes last night, again, played 24 minutes, and he took 2 shots. 2 shots.
I know we're on radio, but if you could see me right now,
you're steaming.
I'm shaking my head. I mean, that's unacceptable. It really is. It's unacceptable, HB, because this team needs you. If the team didn't need his services and he was just an older guy that was just riding his contract out, I would be like, okay, man, you know what? You gave us your service. You're a good locker room guy. Do what you do on that end. If you was like, a UD down in Miami, you just sit on the bench, you help young guys out, do what you do. But this team needs Harrison. If Harrison can give this team some consistency, it would definitely make this team better.
Yep. Obviously, Sabonis and Fox are the faces of the Sacramento Kings. Murray, the emerging star in his second year. But right now, is Barnes really the poster player for this team in the sense of the Kings have been up and down a little bit, and Harrison Barnes has been up and down. I mean, is he kind of like, really kind of the person who's embodying what's going on with this Kings team right now?
No, it's 3 of them. It's 3 of them. It's Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and Keegan Murray.
Okay.
Because neither one of those guys has shown some consistent play. All of them have been on a roller coaster ride. Yeah. I'm going to give Keegan a pass because he's such a young player.
Yeah.
He gets a pass. But Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes, you guys are veterans. You guys know better. You know what you need to be given out there on the floor, and they're not able to do it.
Yeah, they haven't been able to do it so far, at least. And for Harrison Barnes, it's one thing Keegan Murray goes 4 for 12. At least he's a part of the offense. You know
what? At least you're giving yourself a chance, guys. That's the main thing that bothers me with HB. I love Harrison Barnes.
No, I know you do.
I really do.
I know.
But the mindset of Harrison Barnes has to be, and he has this leeway, Scott. That's what I don't understand. I've been on teams to where certain players, you can't shoot that ball. I don't care what you do. You better not shoot that ball. That's not what you do. But on this team, everybody has the green light to shoot. And Harrison Barnes, it would be nothing for Harrison Barnes to shoot that ball 10, 12 times every night.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. Okay, let's just say he took 2 shots. Okay, that, we can debate that, how many shots he should be taking a game, but you would at least expect, 7 or 8 rebounds or 6 or 7 assists or something else to complement it. The problem is Barnes had 1 rebound and 1 assist last.
Scott, I'm not going to let him off the hook, bro. That still would be unacceptable for me. If he had 12 rebounds, you only take 2 shots. This is an offensive-driven squad. No, you have to shoot that basketball. We need you to score.
Fair enough. All right. We go to the break. When we come back, we are going to go around the league. We'll take a look at the other games from last night. Joel Embiid still on a historic pace in Philadelphia. We'll turn our attention to the other games tonight as well. Game night being brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience how the power of family can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. They will be in the house tonight rooting on the Kings as they take on the Magic. It's game night coming to you live from Golden One Center right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Get a handoff to McCaffrey. Walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey. Takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown. CMC.
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
For today's show and tell, I present my phone. It's made with glass and various metals I can't pronounce. It's powered by Xfinity Mobile, so my family saves big. Take a handout.
Colin, what are these?
I'm quizzing the class on the material.
Switch to Xfinity Mobile and save hundreds a year with the best price for 2 lines of unlimited. Just $30 a line a month. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Unlimited Intro Service and Xfinity Internet required. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game and high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back into game night right here. Sactown Sports 1140 coming to you live from the Golden One Center. Scott Marsh and the High Flyer, Henry Turner, Kings and Magic. Sacramento trying to do something for the first time this year they have not done all season long. That's win on a second night of a back-to-back. They're 0-4. Hopefully last night's loss to Charlotte will be a good motivator for them to turn this thing around. Kings come in 19-13. Orlando's 19-14. We'll focus in on that matchup in the next segment, but right now we're going to go around the league. Game night being brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. Last night, Philadelphia beating Chicago 110-97. In that game, Embiid had a triple-double, 31, 15, and 10. As the Sixers improved to 23-10. They're 13-4 at home. And for Embiid, it's his 15th consecutive game with 30-plus points. He's one of 5 players in NBA history to have that honor. One of those players is still active, High Flyer. You want to take a guess on who that is?
Probably Jokic.
Jokic would be a great guess. It's not. It's the beard. James Harden had a stretch of 15-plus 30-point games back in 2018, 2019. The other players, the late, great Kobe Bryant, 2003. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the 72 season. And, of course,
my man, Wilt Chamberlain.
Of course, Wilt Chamberlain back in 1964. So Embiid in rarefied air, as right now you'd have to call him the favorite to repeat as MVP. The Grizz beating the Spurs last night, 106-98. John Morant got it going again, 26 points and 10 assists for the Grizz. We're now 11-22. The Pelicans blowing out the Nets last night, 112-85. The game of the night, Celtics and Thunder in OKC, a battle of two of the best teams in the league. The Thunder went at home 127-123. SGA, what a performance he put on. 36.6 rebounds, 7 assists in the win for the Thunder, who beat a very good Celtics team.
You know, another young basketball team has a dynamic star, has a bunch of young players that they drafted and cultivated, and now they're playing very good basketball. You know, I mean, they're getting it done. SGA is leading that basketball club, and I told you, I like what Chet brings.
Yeah, no doubt. Holmgren is certainly having a great rookie campaign as well. And then the Magic, as we said, lost to the Warriors last night. In that game for Golden State, it was unfortunate. GP2 had just come back, aggravated a hammy, left that game early, and Gary Payton is a big piece for the Warriors.
He is. You know, nephew is really having a hard time this year. You know, very much injury prone. I mean, you know, he had the wrist that was bothering him, then the calf muscle, now the hammy. He had a ankle injury early on, and you know, and the way he plays, Scott, is that, you know, he's a very explosive player. So when you get injuries of that magnitude, they really bother your game. It's not like you can just float and play through it.
Yep.
It really bothers his game.
Yeah, and you hate to see a hammy because that usually indicates it would be extended, and he just came back from an extended absence. So hopefully it won't be much more for him. All right, games tonight. Cavaliers are just blowing out the Wizards, 135-95. Pacers and Bucks. This is a fun one right here. Indiana 118, leading the Bucks, who have 100.
Giving it to them.
Yes, and that's just the beginning of the fourth. So the Pacers are on pace to put up another 140 piece tonight. Tyrese, 16 points and 11 assists and 3 blocks so far in that game. And that's kind of the rematch game. Remember the last time, of course, Giannis went for 64.
Right.
The Pacers staff took the game ball. Giannis went racing after them. So you know there's a lot of tension tonight on that court in Indianapolis.
Of course, you know, it's building up to be almost like, you know, another rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, you know, Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. You know, you have your dominant team in the Milwaukee Bucks, but you got this new up-and-coming team that's saying, hey, you know what? We're young. We play hard, and we're not afraid of you. We're here.
They're here, and they are standing up. The Bucks are 24-9, off to a nice start. They're 8-6 away from home, so they're 15-3 in Milwaukee. What do you make of the Bucks so far through 33 games? My gut feeling tells me they're not as good as they were with Drew Holiday last year, and that's no disrespect. And I know how much you love Dame Lillard, but I feel like they've lost a defensive edge to that team.
Probably so, but I still think that when they get it all clicking together, because, you know, this is still the first year that all of them play together.
Sure.
You know, and you know, and it's not like you bringing in just a shooting guard or a small forward or a power forward that has to fit into the offense.
Yeah.
You're bringing in a new point guard that's running the offense.
Yeah, not only that, one of the great players in the game.
Right. So it's going to be a learning curve for Dame until they figure out, okay, this is how this thing really works as a well-oiled machine. But I think when that happens, you're going to see a better version of the Bucks.
Yeah, and we all know the Dame time doesn't really count until it's late in the game or late in the year. That's when Dame time really shows up.
Well, like I said, I think it's still a learning curve for him. And once he figures out how they work well together, you're going to see a whole different version.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thunder in action again tonight. They're losing in Atlanta to the Hawks, 83-72. That's also in action on the second night of a back-to-back. Better effort tonight in Houston. They lead the Rockets at halftime, 50-49. Also at the half, the Grizz on a second night of a back-to-back. A lot of back-to-backs tonight on a Wednesday night in the league. The Grizz trailing the Raptors 62-48. Your man, Pascal
Siakam,
with 16 first half points. By the way, how excited are you to see him on Friday night?
Want to see him play. I mean, he only comes here once a year. Going to get a chance to see him close enough personal. But, another young budding star in this league that, can put a basketball team on his back and carry him and be a face of a franchise. He's a champion. He understands how to win basketball games. I like watching players like that.
And it certainly feels like it's the last time we're going to see him here in a Toronto uniform.
Maybe so. I still look at where can he go with that contract.
That's the thing. He's got that massive contract.
Yeah, where can he go with that? That's one thing when you sign massive deals. It's kind of like the same thing with Dame.
Yep.
It was only a couple of suitors for Dame.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, we can't afford him, and half the teams who want to make a championship run can't afford him.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be the same thing with Pascal.
It feels that way. The Raptors are 13-20 overall, 4-11 away from home. They've definitely underachieved, and that's why they've already made moves. Obviously, Anunoby being moved to the Knicks. They get R.J. Barrett along with Emmanuel quickly. We'll see if they stick with that roster at all. Got a feeling there's more that is going to be traded up from the north. At the half also, Pelicans also in the second half of a back-to-back. They're leading the Timberwolves 59-46 at the half. Brandon Ingram, big first half. He's got 15 points. Second quarter action, speaking of those Knicks, they're in action right now, leading the Bulls 26-24. Bulls second night of a back-to-back. Big theme back-to-back tonight in the NBA. What about the Knicks with Anunoby? Obviously, Julius Randle is really starting to come on. I mean, he's been an all-star. We know he's a good player. He started off slow, but right now he is really becoming the Julius Randle we're used to.
Well, he has another defensive-minded guy, another guy that does the dirty work, and we talk about this with a bunch of stars on basketball teams. I think Karl Anthony Towns might be the biggest example that I can give you. Rudy Gobert goes over to Minnesota and he takes a load off of Karl Anthony Towns. We see the best version of Karl Anthony Towns, and Ant-Man comes up, and all of a sudden we're looking at Minnesota, and they're big time. Where's Minnesota now? Third.
Minnesota right now is leading the Western Conference.
They're number one. Who would have thought that over the champs?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you get a guy that comes in that takes a lot off of your number one guy's plate, you get to see a different version of it.
Yeah, no doubt. And Minnesota, we saw how impressive they were. They beat the Kings without the big cat. All right, other games still going on tonight, and we do have some other West Coast games that have not started yet. Mavericks leading the Trailblazers 29-21. Again, Kyrie is back. We'll see how that Luka-Kyrie backcourt gels here in 2024. Clippers and Suns just about to get underway. The Pistons are in Utah to take on the Jazz. Miami is in LA to take on the Lakers. And, of course, we have this game here. All right, for the Kings, one thing that we haven't talked about in a while, it hasn't been an issue, but certainly it's become one again, and that's the free throw shooting for the Kings. They have moved into 30th place in free throw shooting. Now, let's be honest, Sabonis and Fox are taking a lot of the free throws. Neither one of them are having a good year from the line. Sabonis in particular has been dreadful in the last few weeks.
I love the way you put that lightly and say move into 30th place. That's been their home. They've been there for a long time.
Well, they just took it over in the last week in terms of being in 30, but they've been down the entire year.
Thank you. This basketball team has been atrocious as far as shooting the ball from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And Scott, and it really hurts because when you're an offensive minded team such as the Sacramento Kings, and then you try to find other ways to win basketball games, the first thing you look at is the defense, okay? We know who the Kings are on the defensive end. The next thing you start looking at is free throw shooting. Free throw shooting. And when your defense is null and void, your free throw shooting is down. It's at an all-time low. Well, you only have a couple of other ways to manufacture some points, and it makes it very hard to win a basketball game when that three ain't dropping.
It does make it hard. When you see Sabonis at the line, are you noticing anything just from a form standpoint that needs to be improved?
Scott, at this particular point of your career, you're professional. Your shot is what it is. You're not changing it. It's all about concentration at the line. You know, I said this with KD and Whitey. Right now, a professional basketball player should be able to take a basketball, get to that free throw line, get to his spot, close his eyes, and make 3 or 5. Because it's repetition. It's the same over and over and over and over again. You probably shot more free throws than any other shot you've taken in your whole career because you get to that free throw line and you knock them down, you knock them down, you knock them down, you knock them down. It's just repetitive. So I honestly think the Sacramento Kings and the way they're shooting the ball from the free throw line is nothing but concentration.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. And certainly De'Aaron, it seemed like he'd kind of worked through that because he was becoming close to an 80% free throw shooter. And obviously that's fallen back now.
Yep. And like I said, you see that he's capable of knocking them down. It's all about concentration at the line.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out a little bit because it seems it's only a 15-foot shot. Nobody's guarding you, but sometimes looks can be deceiving.
But Scott, you're a pro, bro. And like I said, you've taken so many free throw shots, and that's the one shot that doesn't change. You get to your spot. Like I said, you should be able to close your eyes and knock down free throws.
Yeah.
It's just going through that same motion, and you've done that your whole life.
Well, hopefully it's something that will improve for the Kings. They can certainly use that help. All right, Kings and Magic tonight. When we come back, we will focus in on the matchup. It's the only appearance for Orlando here at Golden One Center tonight. Game night brought to you by our good friends at the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. As we know, there's a lot of children living in our community in a single-parent household. They could use an outside mentor. Maybe that could be you. Maybe that would be your New Year's resolution in 2024 to do something really good for this community and help out children who are in need. Consider Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Give them a call, 916-646-9300, or visit bbbs-sac.org to learn all about becoming a volunteer mentor. More of Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric, Heating, and Air.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Final segment of game night right here. Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Kings and Magic tonight. We'll break this one down. Just kind of following up on our free throw breakdown. So again, the Kings have shot 704 free throws coming into last night's game. Fox and Sabonis had shot 360 of them. So it tells you top heavy. So that certainly explains the percentages. Kings were 73.5% coming into last night. Fox 72%, Sabonis 66%. So, when your best players who are getting to the line a lot are struggling, obviously that affects your percentage a lot. And, we'll see. I think Fox certainly can be above 75%. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Sabonis should be above 70%.
You know what? Fox, as being a guard, needs to be very close to 80%.
Yep.
Sabonis needs to be very close to 75%.
Yep.
That was our measuring stick back when I played. All guards had to shoot at least 80% from the free throw line. If you didn't shoot at least 80%, you had homework to do every night. And you had to go in and shoot your throws every night.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue to track that, but right now, Kings are last in free throw shooting percentage. All right, time to look at our injury report for tonight. The good news for Sacramento, nobody on their injury report. Again, health is becoming a good thing again for the Sacramento team.
Yeah, when you have everybody at your disposal, that's a good thing, because just in case you have one of those games to where, Coach Brown has to go searching for someone to, give him something special, you have all your guys to choose from.
Absolutely. The injury report brought to you by Arnold Law Firm, providing justice for you since 1975. If you're injured, call the Arnold Law Firm, 916-777-7777. One player we haven't seen a lot of late, that's Sasha Vezenkov. Mike Brown was asked about that in the pregame presser. And, I think he just said sometimes there's just not enough minutes to go around for everybody. And that's true, because when you do have health, you got a lot of guys to choose from. You can't play everybody. But I think we are somewhat surprised we haven't seen Sasha more so far this season.
That's funny, because when you're searching for some guys for some consistency,
yeah,
he has been going deep, but Sasha hasn't been one of the guys to where he's called.
No.
And we're not in practice every day. He is.
True.
So, right about now, probably, the trust factor probably isn't where it needs to be with Sasha, and rightfully so, because the time that he has gotten, I don't think he's lived up to the expectations of the Sacramento Kings.
Yep. So far, it's been tough for Sasha, who came over with a lot of hype, obviously an MVP of the European League. The Kings highly coveting him, going over there, giving him the 3-year, $20 million contract. And Kings fans still trying to figure out what exactly they have with Sasha. All right, let's break down the Magic. As we said, it starts with Paulo Banchero in his second year, the reigning rookie of the year. Terrific young player. He's 6'11". He handles the basketball. He's that new age type of player we talked about, with a lot of height, a lot of athleticism. He can defend. He can do so many things out there on the floor. And what do the Kings have to do tonight against him?
Wow. I mean, he does a little bit of everything, Scott.
He does, yep.
I think probably Keegan Murray will probably get the call on him. I think Keegan can do a very good job. I think everything that Paolo does well, I think Keegan can deal with. Seeing that Keegan has seen a vast array of great offensive-minded players, I think that, he should be able to stay with Paolo. Size-wise, he's good. Length-wise, he's good. Hopefully, strength-wise, he's good. I think it comes down now to basketball IQ and just being overall savvy out there on the floor.
Yeah, how about the Wagner brothers, Franz and Mo? The Franz is here tonight. And he's another guy who's got a lot of size, playing well, likes to play inside, likes to mix it up a little bit.
That's going to be a Sabonis call, and, is Sabonis going to come out? Which Sabonis are you going to get? Are you going to get the aggressive, I'm going to the basket, I'm scoring, I'm banging Sabonis? Or are you going to get the Sabonis that, okay, I'm going to facilitate and I'm going to run the offense?
Yeah. So interesting combination up front the Kings will have to contend with. Coming off the bench, Cole Anthony, he used to be a starter. Now he's running the point from off the bench. That second unit's been really good for Coach Mosley as well. This is another team that goes deep. They go 10 deep almost every night.
They're a young team, and they like to go up and down, and they have a bunch of weapons at their disposal. So, you could elect to go 10 deep and then, go in at halftime, and we always say go in at halftime, make adjustments. When you go 10 deep and then you go in and you have 10 guys that you can select from and say, okay, which one of these guys is on tonight? That gives you a nice little nucleus to come out in that second quarter and say, second half and say, okay, I'm going 7 deep now, but these are the guys that's giving it to me.
Yep, exactly. Of course, points in the paint will be important tonight against a very point-heavy team. As we said, the Magic are the worst three-point shooting team in the league, but they score a lot of points in the paint. We'll be tracking that. Our points in the paint brought to you by RT Painting, your reliable and trusted painter in the Sacramento market since 1998. Kings will have to be strong inside the paint tonight.
They are. The main thing the Kings will have to do is take care of the basketball.
Yes. Both teams, actually. But, certainly the Kings.
Turning the ball over is going to be one of those things to where the Kings are going to really have to have that at a minimum, because that's what hurt them so dearly last night. You can't have 2 nights to where you just come out and just turn the ball over at a very high rate.
Yeah, no doubt. The Kings gave up 17 points on 21 turnovers. The Magic gave up 18 points on 18 of their own turnovers.
And they both lost. So
yes, they did.
That just goes to show that that's a little bit of consistency. If you turn the basketball over, you lose.
Yes, that's a golden rule of basketball at any level. But tonight for the Kings, it's more about that. It's about showing some pride out here after what was a bad effort last night.
It's a bounce back game. Okay, you know what? You laid another egg. Okay, it happens. You got 82. It's not going to be the last egg you lay. So understand that, yes, you bounce back. You have to look at the overall totality of it now. This 4-game homestand you just lost, you still can go 3-1.
Yep, everything's still in front of them for them, but it starts tonight against Orlando. All right, that's going to do it for game night. As always, High Flyer, good to work with you.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, have a great call tonight. Kings live pregame coming up next. Jason Ross will be here for that, along with the High Flyer. The G-Man is here as well. He'll have the call tonight. It's a 7 o'clock tip. Kings and Magic, only appearance for Orlando here in our capital city tonight. Keep it tuned all night long. We'll have you covered. The G-Man with the call. Kings Live pregame next. It's Sactown Sports, 1140. Have a great night, everyone.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown